today's class number 13. We started with Sefer Chaim, Lashon Hara, laws of derogatory speech, and today's topic is ambiguous statements. Go ahead.
Okay. So a Jew is responsible for exercising caution in speech and not making statements which can be misinterpreted as being derogatory. An example of an ambiguous statement that should not be said is, he's a well-meaning fellow, which can mean he's a well-meaning but not very intelligent. Or he's well-meaning but his actions are wrong. If one simply means he's well-meaning and sincere, then this should be made clear. So it's like saying, yeah, he's funny. He's a funny guy. But maybe there's something more. Like, so he's funny, but maybe he's rude.
Funny, maybe it's a little crazy, right? Right. Like crazy people, right. They say also funny.
Yeah.
So.
Or like people say, oh yeah, he's nice to his parents. Maybe he's not nice to somebody else.
Exactly. Exactly. So all of these statements you can say, but if you clarify exactly what you mean. So as you said, he's right. He's not he's nice to everybody, but he treats his parents like exceptionally. So that would be allowed. But
even I've heard people, or they say he's really good with kids. He's good with his kids. Well, is he good with his wife? Maybe that people will think that too. That's interesting. I never even.
Yeah. So you basically have to be very, very clear. What do you mean? Okay. Where are we? So we started chapter 3, and we left off on the commentary number 5. So let's read the whole Halachah first, and then try to explain. It says, number 1, a person might say, since envy, desire, and pursuit of honor, and the like are wrong paths to drive person from this world, I shall separate from them to a very great degree and move away from them to the opposite extreme. For example, he will not eat meat, nor drink wine, nor marry, nor live in a pleasant home, nor wear fine clothing, but rather wear sackcloth, a coarse wool, and the like, just as the pagan priests do. So that's what we were discussing last time. So a Jew is supposed to live in this world, enjoy in whatever Hashem gave us, right? All of these foods. So Hashem brought all of these different tastes for us to try. If it's not crazy expensive, and so just say another bracha. What is the problem? Enjoy, and just think about Hashem's greatness. There is no problem. This too is bad path, and it is forbidden to walk upon it. Whoever follows this path is called a sinner, as implied by the statement in Shmos 6:11 concerning a Nazarite. And he, the Kohen, shall make an atonement for him, for his having sinned because of the death. Okay, we're going to see the commentary. Okay, so basically they call this Nazarite, right, a sinner. Our sages declared, if the Nazarite who abstained only from wine requires atonement, how much more so does the one who abstains from everything? Okay, so he was not called sinner because he touched the death, right? He was maybe he was not careful, but you cannot call him a sinner for sure. Continue. Therefore, our sages directed man to abstain only from those things which the Torah denies him, and not to forbid himself permitted things by vows and oaths of abstention. So basically, Torah has enough prohibitions, enough things that don't do and stuff like that. So we don't have to come up with the new ones. That's right. So moderate the intake or whatever is allowed. That's a different story. But if there is no like health risk, like somebody likes sugar too much, sugary candy, whatever. So that's, or like high cholesterol things. That's also not good. So,
it's funny because I highlighted like the one part, like for example, he will not eat meat nor drink, because it's interesting to me. Like I feel like a lot of people who aren't religious and they look at religion, they're like, oh, what are you gonna, you're gonna wear, like it's almost as if they feel like you're becoming this person who's not allowing himself pleasures, where because this is something I could make a point of, like if I ever come to that, like it's actually against Halachah if you refrain from enjoying things, because they might. I know when I thought, like, look at them, they're like when I was not religious and I would look at religious people, I'd be like, they live like as if there's nothing else to this world but their Sabbath and that's it.
Exactly, but the more we learn about it, it seems like actually now you start living. Like before
now
that,
you
before
actually
absolutely 100%.
Yeah, now you know when to enjoy things. Like Hashem not only gave us these things to enjoy, but like He said, I want you to enjoy them specifically, even more on Sabbath. Like buy the best food, buy the best clothes. Like He gave us a day like where it's all for Hashem, where your desires don't, like usually during the week, like if you get a desire like a hunger, like you almost like forget Hashem in one moment, But like on Saturday, all your like desires like are all focused for Hashem because it's like His day.
Yes.
So that's how I look at it. Maybe.
That's a proper way to look at it. Yes. And so that's why it says about Hillel and Shammai. So they say it says in the Mishnah. So they save the best for Shabbos.
I love Shabbos. It's like the greatest thing ever.
Exactly. So and you do it with everything. So you bought yourself a new shirt, right? Very first start on Shabbos. Like buy, even though it's not the Shabbos shirt, it's not as dressy as other shirt, but in honor of Shabbos, so it's like you buy something new.
Yeah.
Even though you're going to wear during the weekday, but it does not make any difference. That's how Sage stated. Are not those things which the Torah has prohibited sufficient to you, that you must forbid additional things to yourself? So, and it's a good question, as we I think spoke last time, or maybe did not speak. So all of these monks, all of these priests, right? That Christian, that they abstain. They say they abstain, right? So Rabbi Reuven said very interesting thing. So it says in their eyes, their religion, relationship between man and a woman as sinful. That's what they say, and that's why the priests do not marry, right? Why? So that they would not sin.
Right. Yeah.
But their religion will listen to continuation, right? But their religion needs people. In order for religion to survive, they need people. So if everybody is going to be holy and abstain relation with them in one generation, 2 generations, there will not be Christians. So they they put their stake on what? On people to be sinful. So they count on people to be sinful to continue their religion. You understand how absurd it is? It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I never thought of it from this point of view. Right? About the Judaism, it says, no, eat meat.
When I heard him say that, I never thought about it either. Yeah, it was interesting. But that's the Catholics. I know Catholics are very into that.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. You want to say something?
No. I'm listening.
Okay. Continue. This general statement also refers to those who fast constantly. They are not following a good path. For our sages have forbidden a man to mortify themselves by fasting. I mean, if he's I don't know, 400 pounds or 350 pounds, so maybe it's helping actually. But otherwise, if you're normal constitution, it's the fasting is not helping. Of all of the above and the like, Shlomo directed and said, do not be overly righteous and do not be overly clever. Why make yourself desolate? Kahal 7:16. So basically, don't be overly righteous. Be righteous according to the Torah. That's enough. Don't make yourself like extra things. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to skip first paragraph because we discussed it last time and start with these two, meaning that abstain from. Or let me quickly read it. Sorry. A person might say, since envy, desire, and pursuit of honor, and the like, are wrong path, and drive person from this world, I should separate from them to a very great degree, and move away from them to the opposite extreme. For example, he will not eat meat, nor drink wine, nor marry, nor live in a pleasant home, nor wear fine clothing, but rather wear sackcloth and coarse wool and the like, just as a pagan priest do. Okay, continue. This too is a bad path, and it is forbidden to walk upon it. Number 5. The Shmona Prakim, chapter 4. Rambam explains that at certain times, many of the pious adopted ascetic practices as a safeguard against excessive involvement in materialism. However, they never regarded such a practice as a goal of their own right. So the fast, for example, somebody want to fast, right? So this fast should be not in order not to eat and torture himself, but it should be like maybe for some spiritual growth or some, he's praying and like some other cause than not eating and drinking.
Right.
So this fasting should not be a goal. Okay. Others observe their behavior and mistook asceticism for an end. Mistook as asceticism for an end rather than a means to achieve the middle path. So it's one of the things that which is called marisain. So people can misunderstand what you're doing. Right. On Shabbos, and we don't do many things, or even not on Shabbos, so we don't do some things because, like for people who do not know, it looks looks not right. Okay. Or they not right, or not right, or they would learn from you and apply it in the wrong circumstances. Maybe in your specific situation it was permitted, but in their situation it's prohibited 100%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Continue. From the Rambam stated Shmona Prakim, it would appear that there are two drawbacks to asceticism. Okay. A. It might lead person to poor health, illness, and lack of strength, which would prevent him from serving God, as Rambam states in Halachah 3. So basically, the straightforward way, as we said before, we learned before, that the person has to be healthy, and just kill yourself with these fasts and like starving yourself, and that's not healthy. That's not good. Right. A person when a person is sick, not sick, when he's hungry, he cannot think straight. He cannot learn. He cannot understand things. Because in his mind, it's always food. Right? So, and B, person might err and feel that he has fulfilled his obligation to serve God through these ascetic practices. As a result, he may never feel he need to dedicate himself to the service of God as he prescribed in the Torah. He means Hashem. So that's how Misilas Yesharim starts. I think it's in the first slide. Yeah, go ahead.
So they're saying basically a person who like isolates himself to the point of like, to like get away from everything. You might say, oh, I've done enough. And that's it. Like now I can, I've sacrificed a year. So exactly. Maybe that's it. right?
Exactly. So look, I'm holy. They're all eating three times a day, and I'm eating a piece of bread in the morning, and that's it, and drink some stale water. So in his mind,
Right.
he's on
I
a very high.
I did my duty.
Yeah, I mean, in his mind, he's on a high spiritual level. All of these people, all of the other people beside him, right? They're on a very low spiritual level, and they only think about the food, right? Like in his mind. So it's a plays tricks. So many times, like it's is not going to come to you like and say don't do this or do this avera. He's clever. He's going to come from other direction. He said, no, you have to go a level and a notch above everybody. You understand? And they suggest some crazy thing, and then a person cannot keep up with this thing, and he's going to break. And I had this discussion. I was like with somebody. The person wanted to take upon himself like a study of the Torah with like enormous amount, and I told him, like from my experience, it's too much. I mean, for Rav Kanievsky, yeah, he can do it, sure, but you and I, probably not. Most definitely not.
You know what it is? They see, because I remember thinking about something like this, and I was like, oh, you know, first of all, you get almost like mesmerized by these Gdol, like, wow, like Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Rabbi Yosef, so many books. Maybe if I read this many books and I just read and study, I'll be like them. And because I've had this thought, I'm like, wow, if only I could read that many, you know, like maybe I'll just try to stay up all night. And I'm like thinking, wait, me stay up all night? I can barely stay up past 11 o'clock, you know. I wake up early to study, stay up late at night. It's not something I could do. Like, and I know it, you know, it's like a weakness I have that I'll eventually try to work on, where I could stay up a little later. But it's easy how to see, like, you know.
If you can get up early, it's actually better than stay up later.
Really? You think so?
I'm sorry. Yeah, no,
I don't know, because I'm reading. I like getting up early. Like for me, I wake up at like 4:30, 5 a.m. Like I just need 6 hours of sleep. My body. That's what my body functions on. Like it wakes up automatically on its own. No matter what time I go to bed, I wake up in between like 5. If I go to bed at like midnight, I'll still wake up at like 5, 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. But if I go to bed at like 10, I'll wake up at 4:45. Just that's the way my body is. You know, now I wake up more with like, all right, I got to get up, study. You know, before I would just get up to, you know, I'd be maybe a little sluggish, but whatever. That's not the point. I'm just saying, I can see how like pride can eventually this make a person more proud, because let's say he's like, oh, you know, I fasted for like a day, you know, like for Hashem, you know, and then like I studied all day, and then all of a sudden it's like, who are you? Like you've been Baal Tshuva for a year, and you know they think that they also, I've met people who think they've been Baal Tshuva, they were Baal Tshuvas for like 3 years. I think he was a convert, and I remember telling them, I was like, oh, you know, I wish like my friends can become more Jewish. Like, you know, I'm trying to talk to them. You know, like my best friend, he's like, oh, you should let him talk to me. And I'm like thinking, who are you? You know, like you're Baal Tshuva yourself. Like how you're going to let him talk to me? Like, you know, I don't know. I just didn't like it. It feels like pride can easily get like, he's a very intelligent guy and very like, you know, like he loves studying, but it's like, still, like, you know, I would never be like, oh, you should let him talk to me. You know, like I'm not even that, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, pride can get in the way here. You know, if you think you're doing better than everybody else, you're doing more than everybody else. Right?
No, yeah, I mean, yes, but the point, what I was trying to make, that sometimes Satan would come from the opposite direction, and he would make you fall. Like with that person that said that he wants to learn 100 pages of the Mishnah a day in 3 hours. I said, you're not going to be able. No, he said, I can read if I concentrate, and it's a very smart, very intelligent person.
But that's a pride thing, no? Isn't that like a little bit pride?
No. I told him, once you miss a day, so next day you would need to make 200 pages. Are you strong enough to say no to everybody? So me personally, everybody knows not to invite me. Why? Because I'm not going to come. Like every day, Baruch Hashem, I have classes, and I'm not going to cancel the classes.
Right.
Unless, I don't know, unless event cannot take place without me, for whatever reason. So, but otherwise, I'm not going to come. So I use that strong, at least that strong, like not to waste time. 100 pages. I mean, Baruch Hashem, he listened to me. He didn't do it, but but you have to be reasonable because that's right. What Satan wants. He wants you to fail, and I say, look at you, you loser. Yeah, you understand? And personally, going to get into depression and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? Maybe my mother-in-law was right about me being a loser. Maybe right? Maybe my sister-in-law was right. So yeah, so we don't give Satan this thing. Okay, so continue. Continue with the commentary. There is a third disadvantage. So we said the first one is it can deteriorate his health for sure, and second, that he might feel proud, right? And as a result, he said, no, I'm doing much more than other people. Yeah, you're doing much more than other people in this area, but in all other areas, you're complete failure. Right? That's okay. There is a third disadvantage. There is a stress heavily by the teachings of Kabbalah and Hasidut, and may be hinted at the Rambam statement in the following Halachos. Okay. The Zohar, volume 1, page 42b, states that God creates the world in order to let himself be known. Okay, that's similarly Tanya, chapter 33, explains that God created the world because he desired to have dwelling place in a lower world. Thus, a person who, I'm not sure why he said it's Tanya, I think it's from Talmud. I'm not sure why he said that. Okay, maybe the Tanya also said it. There is no problem. Thus, a person who tends to other worldliness and asceticism defeats the God's purpose of creation. Let me read it again. Not clear. Similarly, explains that God created the world because he desired to have dwelling place in lower worlds. Okay, that's what he desired. Okay, that's clear. Thus, a person who tends to overworldliness and asceticism defeats purpose in creation. Maybe that God is. For me, it's not clear the idea. Maybe it means that Hashem is not going to be known because a person is trying to stay away from some things. Maybe that's Hashem is not going to be known. I'm not sure what he meant. Like some information is missing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you have some ideas, I don't know. Okay. So continue. Whoever follows the path is called a sinner. This path, right? Try to stay away from these things. It's called the sinner, as implied by the statement Shmos 6:11 concerning a Nazarite, and he, the Kohen, should make an atonement for him for his having sinned because of the death. Okay, number 6. Nazarite is forbidden to become impure through any contact with a dead body for the duration of Nazarite vow. If he can contract such impurity, he is required to bring special sin offering. The Shmos chapter 6, Hilchot De'ot, chapter 6 and 8. Okay. Sin offering. Okay. I would say so. So based on this commentary, so he's considered sinful because he was not careful and touched the dead body, or maybe stepped on like part of the corpse. Like in olden days, they would bury people wherever they die. They would die. Like, and it says that with their death, they would acquire this 4 ounce, and that they would be buried like that. So meaning now, when you plow the field, it could be like somebody was buried there. Now his bones are going to come up.
Right.
So it's yeah. So it was very possible. So the person, this Nazarite, he was working in the field. There was no dead body. There is no cemetery. But something happened. So they call him sinner.
Mm-hmm.
Continue back to Rambam. Our sages declared. Let's see the commentary short. In Tanit 11a. Interestingly, the author of this statement, Rabbi Eliezer Kfar, is also the author of the statement in ours, that envy, desire, and pursuit of honor drive the person from this world. Okay, so it says, okay, so what did they say? If a Nazarite who abstained only from wine is requiring atonement, how much more so does one who abstained from everything? Which makes sense, right? So, I mean, Hashem created all of these beautiful things, and you abstain. I'm above it. I don't like it's like for me, like the way I understand, it's like in soul. So you were the present to somebody, and that somebody just threw the present on the counter, did not even open it, like did not care. So for you, it would be soul. You spend your money, you work on it, you had all of these ideas and the disrespect.
Right.
Therefore, our sages directed man to abstain only from those things which the Torah denies him, and not to forbid himself permitted things by vows and oaths of abstention. Okay, so we have 8 and 9. So it says 8. One should not conclude that Rambam completely disapproves the vows and oaths, of course. At the conclusion of Hilchot De'ot, 13:23, the Rambam states, whoever takes a vow in order to stabilize his temperament and correct his deeds is zealous and praiseworthy. So meaning, if he indulges, he cannot live without meat, or I don't know what it is, without food, and said, I forbid myself to eat meat 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Let's say 6 only on Shabbos it's allowed.
Mm.
So in this case, because he knows like he eats meat every day, and it makes him I don't know. Basically, he understands that it's not good. Okay, so continue. In Hilchot De'ot, he gives example of people who are excessively inclined to a particular quality, who takes a vow to correct their faults in a manner reminiscent of his advice in the beginning of chapter 2 of this Halachos. Rather, what Rambam criticizes is in our Halachah is abstention for the sake of abstention. So basically, it's not like if he trying to correct his temperaments and he trying to put himself on the right path, there is no problem. Chazak Baruch, that's what you must do. But maybe like for show off, that's the problem. No, yeah, I don't eat meat. No, meat on a weekday? No. You understand? That's too much. It's only like for the sake of showing off, I guess. Okay, so number 9. Not in Rishayin Talmud, Kiddushin 4:12. Rav Hizkiah, the Kohen, said in the name of Rav, a person will ultimately be called to judgment for everything which his eyes saw and which he did not taste. So it's a very strong statement. I mean, if you don't like something, or it's sour, I don't know, like sour apples or whatever you don't like, so it's one thing. But if you want it and you did not buy it because, I don't know, the person was trying to save money or stuff like that, so that's wrong. Okay. So basically, it's like try something different taste.
I mean, enjoy and try everything that you're allowed to enjoy. Like
exactly. So I just want to add from myself. So I think when I say different tastes, I think it's natural tastes.
What do you mean?
What Hashem created.
Right.
So today there is a big industry about the tastes.
Right.
They do all of the chemically like change. So my wife, she's a biologist, so she explained to me.
Who's a biologist?
My wife.
Oh, she's a biologist?
Yes, so she knows all of these things, and so she explained, even many years ago, Baruch Hashem, when she was learning, she said, you do not understand. With all of the chemical, she was like top of the class, so they were able to make different, like, what it smells. Smell of the peach. They knew the formula. You heat up this, you add a few drops of this and that. So it had nothing to do with peaches and had nothing to do with all other things. You understand? So that's what they do. So today it's a huge industry.
The food industry is the worst. I mean, it's really bad over here with the food. Everything is synthetic.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So maybe their artificial tastes would not be required to taste, like whatever they have this million types of taste of coffee or whatever. You understand? But Hashem, like different fruits, vegetables.
The worst industry that people take advantage of is like the sugar industry. Like everything is like enhanced to like sweetness, like now they have like high fructose corn syrup and sugar and brown sugar and this, and then they try to make it healthy, like, and I know I've indulged in some of these like these synthetic things, and I'm like, even after I was religious, I was like, well, I gotta take it easy. Like I realized like I get a craving for it, and I like in that moment like forget about Hashem, like because my desire overtakes me, and I just forget that like what am I doing? Like it's scary a little bit. I like your body desire get a hold of you.
But at least you see the thing that you realized it, that you're aware of this issue. That's huge.
Because it's scary. Like imagine you all of a sudden, I just feel like I just tore that relationship with Hashem. That like I wake up in the morning, I have him in front of me, like that's it. Like he's watching, and then all of a sudden, like I get hungry, like for something sweet, and all of a sudden I just go and like I raid the fridge, and just like that, I'm like I just like lost him. Like I lost Hashem, like in my mind.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I see it, after you become aware, you just like, wow, how unbelievable. Like people are just so into their
like
desires.
Animals, yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Okay, so continue. Rav Lazar was concerned because of this teaching. He saved his pennies and would purchase and eat from every fruit once a year.
Yeah, I highlighted this. I like this one.
Yes, once a year. So I mean, so he was scared. Not like as you said, Hashem created all of these tastes.
Yeah.
So, but what I learned, so all of these beautiful fruits, probably when we buy for Rosh Hashanah to make a bracha to make shikiyanu, none of them is good tasting. None of them better than all of these, like like exotic fruits. What
Yeah.
all of these dragons, schmagons.
Oh yeah, the dragon fruit.
And that's such a waste of money. It's such a waste. Like it's not better than orange. Let's put it this way.
It's
orange or apple, like whatever.
Yeah, I like pears, peaches.
Yeah. So I mean, regular fruit. Yeah. Okay, so it was number 9. Continue. That's how our sages stated. Number 10, Yerushalayim Talmud and Darim 9:1. Are not those things which the Torah prohibited sufficient to you that you must forbid additional things to yourself? So commentary number 11. Shmona Prakim. The Rambam prefaces this statement with the following comment. Our sages have made statements about this subject which are more marvelous than the others that I have ever seen. Interesting. So basically, I tell you what.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, go.
No problem. So what did I want to say? So. So basically, I'm learning now in my morning class.
I'm sorry I interrupted. I had to close the door.
No problem. Learning about all of the forbidden foods. So in order, so people wanted to learn about forbidden foods. So and the guys. So I told them to pick the topic and gave him like 15 different topics. That's what they picked. Okay, well, so everybody like thought that it's going to be like 2.5 pages. I said we're going to spend. I told them so we're going to spend 3 or 4 or 5 months learning about this. So whatever you choose for me, even though I covered it, after 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, it's like new material, almost new. Yeah. I don't have such a great memory. I mean, I'm trying, but so and there are so many like forbidden things, so many like the unexpected things.
Really? That's forbidden?
Yeah. For forbidden foods. So basically, before forbid yourself any food, right? Just try to learn halakha what is forbidden, because for sure you eat something that is actually forbidden.
Really? I thought it was like pretty simple.
Especially so we finished one chapter about these bugs and how many sets of lashes, right? So and it says clearly. So Rambam is saying, I give you just one example. So he's saying that the bugs that come from water, but it's not from a river, not from an ocean, not from the sea, but from a standing water. Mm-hmm. So you have water in your vessel, or whatever vessel is it, right, outside, and after some time, so you see like all of these bugs like crawling around. So he said that these bugs are permissible.
Who said? Rambam?
Rambam, yeah. That's the halach. If they came from they were like developed from the water.
Right.
Okay. So it says that if they can climb up the walls of utensil, then fall in, so that they're permissible. So you can drink these things. But if they came from outside, or they went outside of the vessel to the ground and then came back, so it's not permissible.
Not that I'm questioning Rambam, but did he give like a source for where he got this from, or he just, this is just what he made in Halachah?
No, I don't know. I mean, he always has sources. He does not make things. I mean, he said this is Halachah, and he knew that everybody is going to read it. So
I know that.
No. So it depends, like where these bugs are coming from and stuff like that. So that's not my point. So unless person checks, even it says check, he buys his salad whatever from the store, supermarket, and it says check, you must double check. I mean, you're not required to check every leaf or whatever they give you. Okay, you can skip every, like, I don't know, maybe check 10%, 15%, but right. You must check. But with a salad, for example, we buy from BJ's, this like mix. What's that? So I check every leaf, everyone.
I know. I bought. I even when it says checked, I have this thing that kills bugs. It's called Sealy's. You let it rinse, then you soak it. I got it from. There's
The problem
and then
is
I
not with the
check the
killing.
leaves. Huh?
The problem is eating, even if it's dead.
No, I know. And then I check because as long as it's not alive, I can look. So I just make sure that they're all dead, and then I look through the leaves and everything. I can't see like living bugs. I have like a fear of bugs.
Oh, okay, all right. So basically, what my point was, there are so many forbidden things. So before forbid yourself something, just see what is learn first. What is already forbidden.
Right.
So we will learn about eggs with blood spot.
Yeah.
I've
seen them.
So basically, yeah, don't create yourself all of the stringency. There are so many stringencies in the Torah that try to stick to that stringency. That's it. Don't be too right.
Well, let me ask you: when you check the leaves on the bugs, you look, you put them up towards the light and just check.
Okay.
No.
There are two. So the most popular way, I would say, there is they call it light tray.
Yeah, the light.
So like ultraviolet light. I don't use that. I bought for a few dollars. It's very cheap. So we bought a table lamp, and it has like a magnifying glass on top.
Oh.
And it has a light. So magnifying glass. I don't know how many. I don't know, 10 times. Like basically, even I with my bad vision, I can see like clear.
What? Where do I get that? I want that. I can get that.
So if Lerner, I can find you. I think I paid like
send me
$10.
a picture. Yeah, send me a picture and
I'll find it. It's from eBay.
Yeah.
Like, $10, $12. That's what I paid, and it's better than any light, and it's compact, and you can use it for you fixing some things. For example, small things. You need to see it's like a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
You have a flip, like if you open magnifying glass, if you close, it's like table lamp.
Right.
You can read. Okay, so so the point is again, don't accept all of the stringency upon yourself. So one of the things that is going to make a person arrogant, that's for sure. This general statement also refers to those who fast constantly. Okay, that's a problem, as we understand. So number 12. In Shmona Prakim, Rambam also criticizes excessive fasting. He quotes the prophet Zachariah, who questioned the motives of the Jewish fast, 7:5. Was it for me that you fasted? Right, that's what it says there, and exhorts them to practice true justice and show kindness and mercy. That kindness and mercy, every man to his brother. So Hashem said, I don't need you fast. Like, right? Just be merciful, be good to each other, right? As the proper source of God. So you want to serve Hashem properly the way He likes, not the way that some people make up the Judaism. So just look at the Torah, ask a rabbi, kosher rabbi, and he's going to tell you what exactly Hashem expects of us.
Right.
To underscore this point, he concludes this prophecy that even the public fast will ultimately be transformed into festival and days of rejoicing. So one more time, and we're going to this last sentence. To underscore this point, he concludes in prophecy that every public fast will ultimately be transformed into festivals and the days of rejoicing. So it's not the fast is not to kill yourself without the food and drink, but to make it tshuva. That's the fast is coming next fast, right? 17 of Tammuz. They are not following a good path, for our sages have forbidden man to mortify himself by fasting. Number 14. The phrase to mortify himself is significant here. I mean, even as we understand, just to add from myself, one fast is not going to kill anybody. right? But continuous fasting for sure. The Rambam Hilchot De'ot 1:4-1:9 himself mentioned that the sages commanded both the community and individual fast in times of distress. So if it's distress, you must fast. The whole community fast, you must fast. Right? Mm-hmm. The Rambam statement here have been questioned by Rabbi, response 4:31 and 6:88, and by Sefer Mishneh, based on Nedarim 10a. However, the commentators note that Shmuel, the author of the statement in Tanis, also said in Bava Kama 91a that one may fast. Okay. Here, the Rambam statements are directed against self-mortification and asceticism. So, meaning, do not kill yourself. Right? That's the point. If he person had the bad dream, so he can fast. There is no problem. And not against fasting per se. So fasting, there is no problem fasting, or on the yard side of somebody's parent, he's allowed to fast. Mm-hmm. It's proper to fast, but not in order to kill yourself. Nevertheless, it must be noted that in Hilchos Teshuvah, when Rambam described the path of Teshuvah, he makes no mention of fasting. I mean, basically, if somebody wants to do Teshuvah, so the proper way is to learn about the sin that he was making. So now he knows not to do it. Otherwise, how is not drinking is going to help me with anything?
Right.
You understand? How I'm going to do Teshuvah if I want to drink and I want to eat? How does it help? Right? So continue. Of all the above and the like, Shlomo directed and said, "Do not be overly righteous and do not be overly clever." So why? So this do not be overly righteous. Do not be overly righteous is what is it? One example that I remember. So this guy, this shul, and you go there. This on Avenue L, this Landau shul.
Landau.
Yeah. Landau. So I went there once to daven married, and there is one guy with ripped jeans, with this T-shirt from I don't know, like fancy schmancy. Right, there is keep a fly with the wind, and he puts gartel for whatever reason. He puts gartel over his T-shirt.
Botnik?
I don't know what he. And he stands next to me, and we daven Shmona Esrei, and he bows with every blessing.
Every blessing.
So he's trying to. I mean, he didn't learn it. I understand. We're not judging him, but he's trying to be overly righteous.
Right.
So even though
you could do that.
Yeah. I said, do not come with the ripped jeans and with this stupid T-shirt. You understand? Yeah, if you see that all of the people with the jackets, or at least with the long short, long sleeve shorts. So don't the fast. You see that everybody bowing once, or twice during Shmoneh. Why are you bowing every time? Right. That's the problem. So people try to be overly righteous. Okay, so let's finish this commentary and we stop. So it said the Midrashic work have not interpreted this verse in the manner suggested here. Okay. All right. However, we find other Spanish Jewish sages who followed this interpretation. The duties of the heart. Sorry, duties of the heart. I just bought it. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the Art Scroll new edition. I have old one from Chaim, but now I bought from Art Scroll. Ibn Ezra in his commentary to Kehelas. Okay. Note that this verse uses the two terms of the righteous, tzaddik and chacham. So the righteous is tzaddik and chacham. Okay, so let's see. which the Rambam has used to designate the man with ideal traits. The placement of this halachah raises question. One might have expected it to appear in a previous chapter, which deals with other excesses and deviation from the middle path, in this overly righteous. However, it is possible to explain that in a present position, it serves as a preface to the following halachas, which explain how our service of God and connection to Him can be established within the context of our material reality. Thus, when viewed as a totality, this chapter emphasizes how Judaism desires religious fulfillment are to be found within the context of our day-to-day life, rather than over other overly spiritual activities. Okay, so we can stop here. Any comments, questions, please?
No, I think we spoke a lot about it.
Yeah,
But I like this chapter. It's a good one.
Me personally, I like all of the chapters.
Well, yeah, I mean, but this one, like, I don't know, like, it was very, I don't know, because I see a lot.
We almost finished it, but there are only 3 halachas in this chapter.
Yeah.
It's very short.
I mean, I do like all. Don't get me wrong, I like all of them, but this one, like, really stuck to me because it's very.
That's why I'm talking to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, everybody have their own interests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, so let's stop here. So until next week, Beezrat Hashem. Thank you. Bye-bye.